My name is Mona Tenjo, and I'm the co-founder and CEO of Work on Your Business and the co-host of the World of AI podcast. I had the pleasure to work with Angie Harmon in actually increasing my intuition and actually really starting to listen to the universe. So when I met Angie, I was a little bit into like the universe and, trying to understand how this works, but I really had no idea how to figure this out. I am a classical, rational person, like I did have a lot of luck in my life, but which I also attributed a lot to my hard work that I put in. So I didn't really probably give the universe the grace it deserved, right? And I met Angie in the beginning of the year in Ireland, and I was sitting next to her. And just being in her presence was already like really interesting because things happened that you just couldn't explain. So, for example, Angie was telling me that she knows how to speak to the universe. And I was like, what do you really mean? And she said, well, like I have a certain code. And so, for example, when I see the number 2, I know everything is going to be okay. And I thought, yeah, okay. I wasn't really convinced. And then we happened to be on collecting money because we were in Europe. So we had to take different types of cash. So Angie was stopping at a bank and actually pulled out money. And she showed me the receipt. She was like, Mona, you won't believe how amazing this trip is going to be, because she showed me her number and it was 200 euros and it translated back to 222 US dollar. And I was like, if I hadn't seen that and she didn't tell me that before, I wouldn't have believed it. And I was like, okay, that's really weird. Some really weird things happened over this day. Just being, but positive things, right? Just being in Angie's present, and then just like she has a really high intuition, so like she sees things, and I was like, how do you know that? I did not tell you any of that. How do you know? So, for example, she knows when I drank too little water, and like, I mean, she couldn't have known that. And it was just really, really interesting. A little bit spooky in the beginning, but really interesting and usually on point. And then I said, okay, let me work with Angie because I obviously don't seem to have access to this part of my life. And I was curious because I've seen many people be very successful using the law of the universes, right? And actually speaking to the universe, speaking to God. I saw it, but I never knew how to do it. And Angie said, well, probably the universe is speaking to you. It's probably yelling at you, but you just don't hear it, right? You just don't allow it in. So I started working with Angie, and we really started manifesting. So we started a manifestation. She showed us different techniques, how to release different traumas, how to actually heal yourself on a physical, but also on an emotional level, right? And then really to start manifesting what you want in your life. And now, again, I was very skeptical. So usually the universe never really manifested for me because I didn't trust in something I haven't seen yet. And since I never really saw it in action, I didn't trust in it. And since I didn't trust in it, it didn't work. So Angie basically helped me restore the trust in the universe and in the guides, right? And so some really interesting things happened from the fact that all of a sudden I have cash wind flows coming in. Like, I mean, a big chunk of $25,000 just happened to show up when I really didn't know where it should be coming from. It just showed up. And since that event happened, like my frustration or my skepticism about the universe disappeared. And since that thing, everything is in flow. So since that thing, I don't even worry about anything anymore because I just know it's going to work. I really have a deep trust that I never had before, which really is an amazing thing because everything seems to be in flow. Clients just start coming to me. I had a really an inspiration for a Halloween challenge. That challenge totally went viral. The people love it. They sign up for the program. It's just amazing. It has never been that much in flow. I'm much less stressed out because I always was stressed out, I'm much more relaxed. I just know things will happen. I know how to also speak to my guides if I have questions. We also learned, for example, to use the pendulum. That worked really well for me. It's pretty accurate. And again, like for me, as somebody who's a little bit skeptical on things, just having something that actually reconfirms what you do and you see it's working and you actually, like, sometimes asking simple yes, no questions and it turn out to be true, that much more often than not, you start gaining that trust that I never really had. So I really have to attribute these successes to Angie and her work because I was really, really skeptical of that, but like it just blew me away. And the way she's doing this, she's explaining it very nicely. She's giving you really good instructions. It's especially for somebody like me who doesn't really had access to this before, like just ripping down the walls and making sure that you really can tap into your full potential and not have fears or not be skeptical about it and just trust that it will work. And then you see it is working out. That is just incredible. So I can highly, highly recommend working with Angie and everything she does. It is really an amazing experience and it works. So with that, I hope this was helpful to you and I wish you all the best for your future. Bye-bye.